Hello guys, this is Mauro from Infotech.com, and on this video I want to show you a quick tour of the Windows 10 build 15002. This is a new test preview for the Kratos update, and this is a huge build that it includes a lot of changes, features, and improvements all around. So let me just get right into the into all the things that are new, and let me start with the start menu, because we get a new feature right there, and that's and that is the ability to create folders. So starting on build 15002, you can simply grab or you can simply drag a tile in top of another tile, and you can create folders. And folders, it's just one way to group tiles, so you can optimize the space on the start menu. We already have this feature on the Windows 10 mobile operating system, but now the same feature is coming to the desktop. As you can see right here, now I have one created earlier, another folder right here, so I can group different tiles. I can click to expand and to close the folder, and you can actually right click that and change the size, so you can have more previews if of tiles. If you have like a lot more tiles that won't fit, and you want to know what's inside of them, and you want to have a preview, you just change the size. You can even use a super large, so if you have a lot of them, you can see all the little previews right here on the tile. So let me just change that to medium, so that's where I had it, and there you go. So that's how folders works on on the Windows 10 Kratos update. Now let me just jump into Cortana. In Cortana, there's not a lot of things going on, but the there used to be that you were able to open Cortana listening mode using the Windows key plus C. That feature now is turned off by default, but you can come to the settings and enable the keyboard shortcut to enable that, so you can use the Windows key plus C to open Cortana and listen in mode. On Cortana, you can also, because Cortana, you can it's able to control different applications with different commands. So to make it more intuitive, or just to make users aware that they can use Cortana commands with certain apps, they're gonna show up in on the results. So for example, if I look for Pandora, you will see now that besides the result, now we have a new section called Powered by Cortana. That it will show you some of the commands that you can use, so you can start learning them. So you can click the command that will open the app with that command. But then later on, when you learn the command, you can just simply say it to Cortana, and you don't have to type or search anything. So it's a really nice addition, so you can use Cortana to control other apps. All right, so let me see what else is going on. Oh, okay, yes. On Cortana, there is also, when you create reminders, there is more recurrence options for months and years, and that's pretty much what's going on with Cortana. On the desktop side, the flyout for the network has been updated. So let me see if that shows up in here, and what we're going to see, maybe yes, maybe not. Okay, basically what's going to happen here is that on the VPN section, when you create a VPN connection, now you'll be able to connect really quickly with a connect button that would appear next to the connection we didn't have before. And there's also going to be a mobile hotspot button right here so you can enable the mobile hotspot on your computer if you have that. Let me show you right now. That's the mobile hotspot also appears on the on Action Center, so that's the same button that will appear on the network flyout. And for some reason, it's not loading the settings on the flyout menu, but that's what you get when you're using a pre-release version of an operating system, in this case Windows 10. But let me see if that works. I just resetted my connection. but apparently it doesn't want to load the settings to show you. Okay, so I'm gonna move on, but that's what's gonna happen on the flyout for the network settings. Also on the Creators update, now you're going to be able to use the Windows Shift S, as you can see right there, like I did, and so you can capture region of the screen. So what I just did right then, I use the Windows Shift and S keyboard shortcut. And on the Creators update, you also are going to be able to use the Windows Shift plus S keyboard shortcut to take just partial screenshots. So like I did right now, I can I press the Windows Shift and S keys on the keyboard, and now I'm able to use my mouse to just take a partial a screenshot of the screen, and that picture, that shot is going to be saved on the clipboard, so you can paste it on any application. So if you need to do that, you can do that right now. On Windows 10 build 15002, Microsoft is also enabling the new Windows Share experience that replaces the old Windows 8 style flyout they used to get from the right when we wanted to share a file or an image. So now, starting on this new flight, you can select the, for example, like an image that you want to share. You can use any type of file, and then on File Explorer or Microsoft Edge or any other app that supports share, you can click the share button, and that will bring up the new share experience with the number of apps that support the new new Windows Share. And then just select the app you want, and you can just share your image or any other file. Let me show you right now that if you open the Microsoft Edge, and if I want to share this page, I will just click the share button, and I will get the Windows Share experience. And in this case, if I want to tweet this web page, I'll just click Twitter, and I will just compose and just tweet it out. And you can do this with any other app that supports the new Windows Share experience. Also, on the taskbar, now when we open the date and time flyout, the flyout now supports the lunar calendar for Chinese. So if you follow that calendar, you can enable that through the settings app that I'm going to show you in a few minutes when I show you all the changes for the for settings. So now let's move on to Windows Sync. Windows Sync on this build is not getting too many changes, but when we open, for example, let's do the screen sketch. Now you're going to see what on the pen, pencil, and highlighter, you're now going to see which colors are selected. As you can see right there, that it's right now is that orange, but if I change like to blue, you will see that now that changes the color right there on the icon, and that will give you a sense of what color you actually are using, which is really nice. And also on the Creators update, when you have enabled the Windows ink icon right here, the taskbar will actually appear on all your monitors, if that's the kind of setup you have. Also on Windows Ink, if you open Sketchpad, for example, and you when you go to erase, to the eraser, now we get a new stroke eraser that allows you to erase an entire stroke or just partially erase it. So if it's something that you want, you can get to this new settings by clicking the eraser and choosing the stroke eraser. And that's pretty much what's going on the on Windows Ink. Now let's move on into the settings app, because there is a lot going on in there, Now let's move on into the settings app, because a lot of the changes that we're going to see on build 15002 is going to happen on the settings app. First and foremost, what we're going to be seeing on this new preview is now that we have a new app section. I mean, actually an app category, where it is a new category, but you're not gonna get new features in there. Basically, what's inside of this new category are the some of the settings that you were able to already find on the system settings, such as the apps and features, default apps, offline maps, and apps for websites. But let me start with the system, because there are other changes going on in there, and that's going to happen on the display page settings, which has been completely redesigned, and now you don't have to jump into other pages to change the resolution. And some of the options now, they have drop down menus instead of a slider, which makes it a lot easier to change those settings. And perhaps the most important feature that we're going to see on build 15002 is the so-called blue light mode or feature, which basically it is a new feature that allows the operating system to control the blue light that your computer emits. So that will help you to reduce eye strain and to help you improve sleep quality. So you can come into the display settings and turn that on and off, and there is also a dedicated page for the blue light settings, and you can go to the settings right there, and you can turn on and off on demand the feature if you have set up on a schedule, because you can set that on a schedule too, to turn on and off the blue light feature. Or you can also set it to turn on automatically, and what Windows will do is to check your location and know when is the sunset, so it will turn it off automatically. And you can change that here, and you can see now that it lowers the night and sunset, and it already knows that at 4:49 p.m. that's when the sun sets on my location. And you can also use an slider right here, which doesn't seem that this is going to be the final way it's going to look, but here you can control how much the temperature color is going to look at night. So now let's move on into, so that's pretty much what's going on the display settings. And now let's move on into the storage section, because now we're going to have a new link right there that is called Manage Storage Spaces, which basically opens up storage spaces on control panel. So if you need to access those settings, you can do it from there. And then let's go to the cross devices experiences. This is a new page within the settings app, which we have this setting already on the privacy category section for the general settings, but now that has been moved into its own section, but it's now located into the settings category. Basically, this feature lets you open apps on other devices, send messages between them, and invite others to use the apps with you. So you can turn that on, and you can choose how to share or receive, and you can choose everyone and my devices only. We have yet to see how this feature actually works with other apps, but perhaps after the Creators update we're going to have more apps, so we can have a real view of how this feature works. And so now let's move on into the devices category, because now we have the a new updated page for the Bluetooth and other devices. Now Microsoft is combining the Bluetooth section and the connected devices into one section, and you can add and remove all your Bluetooth from one place. And you can click the add Bluetooth on other device right there, so you can do that right now. You have a new wizard to connect new devices. And I'm gonna cancel this because I don't need that. And you can see now we have 3 different categories. So you have your mouse, keyboard, and pen, audio, and other devices. You can click any one of those. They're already connected to your device, and you can click remove if that's something that you want. You're also going to notice that we have an icon on next to each device that gives you a better understanding of the device you're managing. And that's pretty much what's going on the Bluetooth page. And I don't have it here because yes I do, but because I don't have a precision touchpad on this particular computer, you won't be able to see the new changes. But basically, Microsoft updated the page, and now there is like 2 additional groups to make 2 additional groups for 3 and 4 finger gestures. And Microsoft updated the page so it's easier to be found when you're using search. And if you're using a precision touchpad and you change the swipe gesture for to lower or up the volume, and the actual volume control is going to appear on the screen. And that's pretty much what's going on the touchpad page. There is also a wheel page that that's for the Surface Dial, which I don't have. But basically now you can configure that wheel per app instead of just for the entire computer. So you can set tools and different shortcuts depending on the app you're using, which is really nice for those who have the Surface Dial, or they're using Surface Dial with the Surface Studio computer. Now let me just move on into let me see if there is anything on Paint and Windows Sync. No, there's nothing new there. Now let me go into the network and internet. On network and internet, there is not a lot going on, but now when we go to Ethernet, you can actually and click the connection, you can actually set the Ethernet connection as a meter connection, so it won't be using a lot of background data. So if you're on a limited connection plan, you won't be wasting a lot of the your data. This feature has been available for the Wi-Fi settings, but we have to resort to different hacks and workarounds to do the same for the meter connection. But Microsoft seems to have heard that people needed to set a Ethernet connection as meter, so now we have that option, so we don't have to use any others workaround. So it's really nice that we can have that. And remember that if you have that on, updates are probably not going to download. So make sure, like if you want to like if you're using like Windows 10 Home and you don't want to have updates, because you can stop updates, one way will be to set your connection as meter, and that's, you can do it right here. It's just, you know, a tiny and like a small change, but it makes a difference in a lot of cases. So now let's move on into there is nothing going on the other pages, everything is still the same. And now let's move on into personalization. And personalization, we have a few interesting changes. Now when we go to colors, to the colors page, now we see that we have the page has been updated, so we have recent colors that we use, different color schemes that we use. And if you change and you try different colors and then you close the settings and you really don't like and you want to go back and you want to know exactly what you used before, you can come here and change that. You will find this like useful if you installing a theme on your computer that also changes some of the settings. and you want to revert the color scheme, so you can come here and change that setting back. Nothing has really much change on this section, other than that Microsoft it's just redoing how the settings at the bottom work. So now instead of two toggle switches, now we have two check marks for the show ads and colors on the following surfaces. Now you can check to have that on start, task, and action center and title bars, so you can just check those settings instead of using a toggle switch. So now let me just jump into themes. For the longest time we had the theme section, but we never had the actual theme from the control panel settings migrated into the settings app, and that's going to change with the Creators update, and that's going to start with the build 15002. Now when you open the theme section, now you actually have a theme management system. So on this section you have in this page you have two sections. You have the theme and apply a theme section. So on the theme you can see the name of the current theme that you're using. If you added your own custom background, you can actually save that theme. Like for example right here you can add a name, and when you save that it will appear on your apply a theme section. And you can also you also have some options to click background, and that will take you to actually to the background section to change the wallpaper. And let me see if in colors will take you to the color section, so you can change that. And sounds, this will actually open the sound settings on control panel. And let me see right here, so you can change the sound scheme, and pretty much nobody uses that, but some themes may have some sounds, custom sounds, or you want to use custom sounds, so you can click that setting and change your options right here. Also we have the mouse cursor, which also will open the properties for the mouse for control panel, and you can come here and change all the theme for the scheme for the mouse pointer if you want to. And then when you have everything set up, you can for example in this case click the save and just save that custom theme. Or if you're applying a new theme and you don't like it, you don't like all the settings, you can come and change it right here. As you install themes from the internet or using the Windows Store, that's where actually they're going to be hosted when we use the when we install the Creators update. They will appear right here at the bottom of the page, so you can switch between them. You can just click and switch between them, and also you get more themes online. Right now when you click that, it will open Microsoft Edge and it will take you to the desktop theme page on the internet. But like I said, on the future probably we're just going to get them from the Windows Store. And then when we go to Start, there's nothing new there, and neither on the taskbar. So now let me just go to Apps. I showed you this before. I talked about this a little earlier, but now let me just show you one really quick thing that's going on in here, and that's when you open the advanced options for an app. And the only thing new that we're going to see here is that now you can sort by name, size, or install dates, or filter if the app has add-ons or a lot of content. If you have a lot of things going on in the list, you can filter them out. So now on accounts and sign-in options, now we're going to get a new dynamic lock feature, which allows Windows 10 to detect when you're away from your computer and automatically lock your device. And this is going to work with the with Windows Hello with the biometric authentication system. So probably that's you're going to need a camera or a Bluetooth device to make that work. So you just come here and turn that on, and when you're away from your computer in a few moments your computer will lock. So if you're using sensitive data, that's a good way to protect it. For regular users, this is not like a killer feature, but this is a really good feature for organizations where employees work with sensitive information. So, and if they POW and they had open a sensitive document, your computer will automatically lock, which will prevent someone else from stealing that information if that will be the case. Nothing else has changed on these categories for the for accounts. And now let's move into Tamil language. And now the only thing we're going to see different on this area, it's on the date and time. On date and time, we're going to get a new drop down menu, which is called the show additional calendars on the taskbar, and that's what I talked about before, which is basically you can, if you follow the simplified Chinese or the traditional Chinese lunar calendar, so you can save those on the time and date flyout. So if you click that, you will see the calendar right at the bottom of the date. So if you don't want to show that, you can just come here and select don't show traditional calendar, and you will get your traditional calendar. So now let's move on into the ease of access, and here there is not much going on, but now Microsoft is adding the Braille support on Windows 10, but you actually need to click this button and install the support, which might still not work on this build, but it will work later on. There are also a lot of other changes on Narrator, which I'm going to leave a link with a comment on the video below on the comment section, so you can check out all those changes. Those changes pretty much are happening under the hood of the operating system, so I can't really show them to you. So now let's go to privacy. On privacy, nothing else much has changed, but we get a new app diagnostic section, which you can turn on and off, and with default it's on. And basically what's going to happen here is that some apps, they use diagnostic information from other apps on your device, so they can run as they're intended to be. So they need that information to from other apps to work. So if you don't want apps to be sharing that information between them, you can disable that option, but I wouldn't recommend it. Just leave it on and let them share that information, so your apps they behave better and they work better. Alright, so now let's move back and let's go to update and security. On update and security, now we get a check mark that will tell you the status of the update. When it's green and you get the check mark, it means that your computer is up to date. If you click on the advanced options section, now we're going to see two additional options, which they're really nice, but the only caveat is that they're only available on professional versions of Windows 10 or higher versions. And those changes and those new features are the include driver updates when you use the Windows Update right here. So if you uncheck that when Windows gets new updates, it will not check for drivers. So if everything is working okay, and if you think that you don't need driver updates, you can uncheck that and you can turn that on at any time you want. Or if there is like a problem with a driver and you need to reinstall rollback and you don't want Windows to reapply a newer update because you know that's going to break your computer, you can just uninstall the driver and install the old one that you know it works. Come here and check that option, and then in the future, when you know that a driver is working, you can come here and check that, and so you can continue getting new updates for drivers. Also on pause updates is a new feature that allows you to temporarily pause update being installed on your computer up to 35 days. So if there is a new update, and you can delay the update from installing your computer up to 35 days. But you should know that some of the updates, like Windows Defenders definition, will continue to update, so your computer stays protected from malware, which is really nice addition on the Windows 10 build 15002. The last thing going on in here, it's happening on the active hours. Active hours, allows you to change the time that when you actively using your computer, so Windows will not restart your computer to install an update. So on Windows 10 Home, now they can change those active hours up to 18 hours. And Microsoft also updated the behavior of Windows Update, so when it's connected to a projector, the computer doesn't restart to apply that update, so you can fully give your presentation and not have Windows to restart just on the worst moment when when you're at work. So that's pretty much what's going on the settings app. There are other changes going on that are happening that you're probably not going to see them as often, or you're barely going to notice, but they're going to make a big changes. And one example is that the out-of-box experience when you install Windows, after installation, when you go through the configuration, that section has been updated, and now it will support Cortana from the beginning. So what Microsoft is just trying to do, it's making that process of configuring Windows a lot easier, so anyone without any help can actually go through with that. So you will get a system from Cortana, so you can go through that custom or express installation of Windows really quickly, so you can get to the desktop and just get on of what you need to be doing with your computer. Another update that's coming on Windows 10 is on improving the high DPI settings for Windows 10. And basically what's going to happen is, now on certain apps, you're going desktop apps, instead of seeing sometimes all apps on high DPI or high resolution displays, they kind of look like blurry. They don't look they don't scale correctly. So with the Creators Update, this is going to change, not for every application, but for a lot of all applications. And also, in addition to that, Microsoft is adding a new system enhanced settings that I'm going to show you. So let me see if I can access right here. So if I go to properties of an app and they go to compatibility, we have a new override the high DPI scaling behavior, scaling perform by. You can enable that, and now we have a new system enhance, which will make those apps look crispier, and they will look better on high resolution displays. So if you have all apps they don't look good, this setting will help you to improve that on the Windows 10 Creators Update, so they will look better on the high resolution displays. So I'm gonna cancel that for now. Also, what Microsoft is doing, I don't know if I can show them to you, but okay, basically what's going to happen when you open, let's see, let me open the calculator. I don't think that's going to work, or that's a perfect example, but now the animation to resize, it's smoother, and the performance has been improved. So it's a little bit of tweak. Like, if you don't care too much about that, you're not going to see the change, but that's one of the improvements that Microsoft is adding into the build 15002. And also on the for high resolution displays, and on computers that use multi-monitor setup, what Microsoft is doing is that icons on the desktop, most of the time when you have to dock and undock your computer connected to external monitors, they will not scale or rearrange properly. So on the Creators Update, that's going to change. So they're actually going to scale properly and rearrange properly when you dock or undock your device. So it's a great new addition for those people that they need to use their computer in different configurations. On the apps section, now we have a new gestures. Let me see if I can learn gestures, which doesn't work on my computer because I don't have the required hardware to run it, because that's for to learn gesture for the HoloLens, for example, for the virtual reality, the mixed reality headset. So I can't show you that, but now that is there. And Windows holographic. Let me see if I can show you the Windows. The Windows holographic has a new icon, and when you open the app, now that has been updated. If you go to get started, like this computer is kind of old, so I can't show it. How this works, but that's how the apps looks like on the Creators Update. Also on the Windows Store now, pretty much everything looks the same. But now when I try to do a search, you will see that the search box will expand across the app. And if I do a search for, let's see, radio, you will see now we get a light preview of the app instead of a listing. And that's pretty much what's going on the Windows Store. Now let's just jump into Windows Defender. Windows Defender is the new dashboard for the antivirus and security settings for Windows 10, and that has been updated. And I'm going to show it to you what are those changes. So now we have on the virus and threat protection, you can actually now run different scans, like run a new quick scan or run an advanced scan if that's something that you need to. When you go to the settings, you can actually change those settings. Basically, these are the same settings you will find for the Windows Defenders on the settings app, but you can change them right here too. And on protection update, you can actually click the update button to update the antivirus if just to check. Pretty much the updates happen automatically, but if you need to change, if you need to check for updates, you can click that and the button and update on demand. When we go to device and performance health, you can see a health report for the Windows Update, storage capacity, device driver, and battery life. So if something is not working correctly, pretty much you will get a report right here. Like you see everything green, everything is working fine. And we also now get a new refresh Windows option right here on this page. So basically the refresh Windows that's nothing new. We had that option in previous version of Windows, but this one in particular, this is what we had before on the what Microsoft introduced on the Windows 10 anniversary update, would allow you to reinstall Windows with a clean installation of the operating system and with all the updates. So now that new this new option that we used to see on the settings app actually was on the recovery, and we used to have a link right here that says start with a fresh install of Windows, so you don't have to download anything from the internet anymore. So you can come here and click the refresh Windows and click get started, and you can just get a fresh installation of Windows with all the latest updates. Your files will be kept, but some of the settings and apps will be removed, so you will have to reinstall a lot of the apps. Here's a description if you want to pause the video and actually see all the details and read all the details. So on firewall and network protection, we got a few links, but they're clickable, but they don't take you anywhere yet. but you can click the private network and change some of the settings, and even you have an option to block all the incoming connections, including those from the allowed apps, and the same for the public network, the same thing. And on family options, this is still under construction. If you're gonna get some settings and options regarding to family settings, but right now there's just 2 links that will take you online to your Microsoft account to the family section for your like I said, for your Microsoft account. So, and that's pretty much what's going on the on Windows Defender. Now let's jump into Microsoft Edge, because there are a few new features on the web browser. Basically, now we have a new tab PreviewBar, where you can click that here, the chevron icon right here, to hide or show the tab previews. So basically, it gives you a glance of all the open tabs that you have, so you can move between your open tabs without having to actually go into each one of them to just jump into the one you want. So if you have like many of those, you can actually scroll them out. Let me see if I can just shrink this to show it to you. Let me see if it won't let me. I don't have enough, but let me see if I can do this. You should be able to scroll with the mouse touch or your touchpad. You'll be able to do this, as you can see right here, and that's a really nice addition to the Microsoft Edge web browser. The other features that we have is called set this tab aside. So sometimes you have like too many tabs open and you need to start clean, but you don't want to lose your pages. You can simply just click this button, and they will be saved into this new section called tabs you set aside. So let me show you that I click this. Let's say I got like 20 tabs, and then I click that, and all the tabs are going to go clear right here. All the tabs are going to clear out, and then when you want to go get those tabs, you will open the tabs you set aside, and you will see those groups listed right here, so you can actually open each one individually. And as you can see right there, so you can restore all the tabs, the group that you did, or you can even just remove them by clicking the X button right here, or you can even just remove that tab clicking the X button on the tab itself, right, like I did right there. All the tabs that you save, they will continue to they will stay even after you restart the web browser. As you can see, I have tabs saved from like 2 days ago, and so you can it's a good way to temporarily bookmark like if you're doing a research and you have you've been working with a lot of tabs for many hours, but you need to switch to a different task and come back later. That's a good way to use this feature. So you can just save all your tabs and you come back later and just resume what you were doing. Let's say if I want to resume this, I just click the restore tabs, and those two tabs, they're just going to reappear, and they will not load until you actually click that tab. So that will not affect performance of the web browser. Also, studying on this on the Windows 10 build 15002, the Adobe Flash will be blocked by default, but you will get an option right here on the address bar, so you can click and play it if you want to. And so every company, what they're trying to do, this is not just Microsoft, but even Chrome, Firefox, they're just trying to get rid of Adobe Flash because it's not secure and it's an old technology that we don't need anymore. But if you really need to access a page that uses Flash, you have the option to override that setting. So that's also another feature that's coming to Microsoft Edge is now that we have jump list, support for jump list. So basically what that's going to allow you is to start right from the jump list to a new in private window, or just to create a new window from there. So let me see if I can click that, and that will start in private view. So that's just another thing coming to the web browser. And finally, there is also a new change that if you go to settings, now your favorite options there are inside of the settings page instead of having their own page. So you can come here and just choose to show the favorite bar or not, or you can import from another browser. You got the options right on the settings page instead of just jumping between pages to find them. And that's pretty much all that's new on the Windows 10 build 15002. Just remember to like the video, share it, and I just hope this video was informative for you, and I do thank you for viewing.